Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Gina. Good morning.
Welcome in.
Welcome. Good to see you. How's everybody doing today? I can't see. Oh. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome in.
What did I hit? I had good morning. Good morning.
Feeling good? Good. It's a beautiful day where we are. I don't know about you all, but we had rain early this morning and then it cleared and the sun came out and it's like gorgeous. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. We got kids back to school. We got a little more time. Guys, we're going to be on here every day this week, so just so you know. Good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
Don't forget to tap your screen. Share the live.
Tap it, share it. Woo.
Welcome in all your new faces. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing this morning?
Everybody sleeping okay? So we're going to talk today a little bit about sharing your light wherever you go, right? So a lot of us feel like we're not stepping into our purpose. We're not living what we want to be doing. And we're like, I'm in this job and I'm like, I have to do this instead, or I have to take care of kids, or I have whatever. Like we have 1,000 different excuses of like why we're not doing, like fulfilling our purpose, like what it is that we know inside, like we came here to do. And
Which, honestly, your purpose really is being the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So when you're out and about in the world, it really is about you feeling good. It's about you being happy. It's about you wanting to be playful and laughing and joking, whether you're sarcastic as hell or witty, so on and so forth. And a lot of us just start to shut down those aspects of ourselves, one, because they're either not accepted by other people, mm-hmm. right? Or you just like screw people, right? I can't I'm famous for that. I'm like I can't
like,
people
forget you guys
today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so it can be difficult for you to do that, but really that's what is required of you as being a sovereign being, a soul living here, having this human experience. Okay. It's funny because, society just like says that if we put ourselves first, if we think about being joyful, if we set out or seek out to just live passionately, that's us being selfish, right? Or that we're not being responsible, or mm-hmm. that we're not working hard, right?
We're not working hard enough, right? And there's this whole like, you need to be successful and you need to do certain things to look successful and be successful.
Right.
And a lot of that doesn't include like taking time to play or create. And really when it comes down to it, if you're not doing those things, then you're not amplifying the light within you.
Yeah. And if like you find yourself feeling like that, throw an emoji in the chat. If you've ever felt yourself feeling like that. Mm-hmm. I know, when I go out, I'm trying to be real cautious about, putting protection around my energy, making sure that I keep my energy to me. But that I'm open to, being able to give and take for like mind or like frequency, mm-hmm. I guess you would say, energy. So last night I had to do a sleep study. I've never had one of those done before, so I didn't really know what to expect other than, my daughter, when she was younger, she had to get one done. But nonetheless, I had to drive into the city and we're talking like city, like we live close to Philly. And so I'm driving down into the city during rush hour and I am like, I'm not really a city person, but I'm like, all right, I can chameleon this stuff, right? But I get in there and it's like everybody's energy is just shut down and like
focus forward,
shut down, like, no, I don't see you, you don't exist to me, we're all moving like robots. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how the hell do people live like this? It's weird to me. It's weird, but live in my own little bubble, I guess, honestly.
Yeah. And our like little suburb, small town, like we walk outside, we're like, hey neighbor, how you doing? How's the kids? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like different when you hop into that reality where everything is like, it's super, you know, when they around like bigger cities, especially like America, the matrix is stronger. You know that? So like when you, like a lot of people, when they say they travel abroad or you go out into nature, the matrix is thinner there. I don't know how it like works scientifically, but there's like less condensed matrix. And so it's like you find more people like just living on autopilot, the more you're in condensed cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I probably just would have like been my typical like overly sensitive, empathic self, shut down. I can't handle this. I don't want to do this. But I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun with these people. I'm gonna get them to talk to me. Right? I'm actually gonna look them in their eyes and be myself. So I always make sure that I ground myself. I, you know, protect my energy, but still be unapologetically me. Right? And that's so important for you to do, is to be unapologetically you,
despite the surroundings.
Yes.
Surroundings. Yeah.
And not to like let yourself get wrapped up into that, because number one, you don't need people taking your energy. Number two, you don't need to dim yourself to make other people feel good. Okay. And number three, you're going to change somebody's life. Every time you go out, you're going to change somebody's life, because there are way more people asleep and single-minded and shut down than there are those that are willing to be authentic and to like actually show their light, share their light.
Yeah.
Now, it is common for a lot of people that are like us, starseeds, light workers, those that are empathic, those that have gifts and abilities. You know, most of us, if not all of us, I'm almost willing to say all of us, will shut that down because it's not safe when we were younger. We start to like open that back up when we get older, but that is what I'm, in that regards, if you find yourself doing that, be aware of that as well. Like, okay, like, yeah, this sounds like me, but I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you can do it in a safe way, right? This one of the things that we teach in our classes is how to like shield and protect and ground your energy, how to be able to use your gifts efficiently.
And create boundaries, like flowing boundaries. So a lot of us walk around with walls. We have walls up around our chakras. We have walls up in our auric field. And people, you can feel that. You can feel when you have a wall up. And you might not have identified it as that. But it's those feelings where you feel yourself pull back or hold back or shrink yourself because you're like, I don't want to be seen, or like this doesn't feel safe. And what we teach and we encourage is turn those walls into boundaries. A boundary is like, instead of a brick wall, it's like, I don't know, like I was going to say like a hedge or something, but I don't know if you can make it through a hedge. But it's like more soft and forgiving, but it still does its job.
Yeah.
You know?
And one way you can like check yourself to see if you're like that too, honestly, is find somebody who refuses to look at you. Or find someone that's like, nope, I don't see you, I don't see you. Take it right there. You're probably going to piss them off. That's a good way to know that you got really bright, big energy. Another way is like, when I got there, I was actually very fortunate. When I scheduled this sleep study, I put on there, or when I was talking to the lady, I was like, I really don't like parking in the city like that. You know, she's like, we have a sleep study center floor in a very nice hotel, and you can stay in the hotel. I'm like, bet. Yep, that's what I want. I want that. So I get there, I'm walking in, there's like this big lobby, right? And I walk past this mom who has 2 kids, and the kids automatically look at me and they smile. That's another sign and indicator, because children are not shut down. And children, you know, it's, as long as life didn't get to them too much, right, at this point, they see you. They will see you. They will acknowledge you. They will stare at you.
It's almost like really weird sometimes. Like, especially when it's like somebody's baby and they're just like, and you like don't know how to explain it, but like you're like, it's just me, it's just my light. They just see it. They just see my light. Right.
And so, you know, for me, like when I see those kids and they smile at me, I smile back at them and I like wink. I'm like, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you know, love and light, peace, animals too. Yeah. Ariel. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And so much so that we had a client one time that, had issues with animals and like coming up and wanting to, what she felt like, attack her, right? But in reality, a lot of times if they're used to being around people that are so closed off, if they see someone with big energy or they're really bright auric field, they may start, like dogs in particular, they'll start to bark. They want to come up. They need to sniff you, smell you, like, whoa, where'd you come from, right? Imagine walking in a dim world, bless you, and this big ass light pops in, like, pop,
yeah,
right? They're like, whoa, whoa, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
So that can be common too, but
yeah, because you stand out, like, especially like you guys like who identify or know like you're a starseed, a light worker, like that you know there's more to this world. You know that there's something bigger and there's more to like the everyday. You guys you look different than other beings. You look different because you're meant to amplify your light, which we're going to talk about, and because of that, you shine brighter. You shine differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, if this is your first time ever hearing the terms light worker, starseed, I mean, honestly, this is something you can look up yourself. Take everything with a grain of salt. Use your intuition. All right, I can almost bet you're sitting here listening to this live.
You probably already know.
You're already matching our frequency, our vibration. So, there's something in you, even if you haven't heard this term before. I would strongly encourage y'all to look these things up. Look up starseed. Look up light worker. It might bring a whole lot of clarity and missing pieces for you in your life.
Put a hand up in the comments if you haven't heard of this. Like if you're like, I don't know anything about this, and we'll maybe touch on it a little bit more. But
we can explain more if someone wants us to, but
but for the most part, you guys, you told me I was a starseed.
Yeah.
And if Andrea hasn't told you yet you're a starseed, have you looked into
whether that
this?
was we've been doing lives and stuff like that. We also do a lot of readings, which, by the way, check our link in our bio. You can go to our link tree. We have updated our services.
We have a lot more like different options, so like more affordable. We have different like time lengths of readings that we didn't have before. So check it out because we have these going and something for everybody.
Also be on the lookout for updates from us because we will be dropping a new merch line sometime this month. We have not come down to a specific date for that, but we will be dropping that as well as the return of our podcast. We are so freaking excited about this. I am aware now, and we will be releasing the first two episodes live
Friday, September 8th. So that's not this Friday, next Friday.
Yeah. Check that out as well. Also, I'm like, boom, we're going to get all these announcements out.
Tap the screen, share the live, please.
Yeah.
Please tap the
share
screen,
the live. But we will be going live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Yep.
So
you can see us here every day talking about this stuff till we are blue in the face. Because you know what? It takes about 100 times for you to hear one new thing to get it. And we want to make sure you guys get it because we are coming up into some like unprecedented times. You guys know the world is changing, things are shifting rapidly, and you guys we need you all doing what you're here to do. We need you open and sharing your light, but we need you to know how to do it.
Yeah, we're also not here to shove anything down your throat. You know, this is free will. Yeah. We're here to just spread the love and share. And if you find yourself in your life is transforming or you're going through transitions or you're experiencing physical symptoms or things that you're like, where in the world did this come from?
Can't figure out. Yeah,
right.
We want to help.
You got old emotions coming up. You're like, what the hell is happening to me? I'm not fitting in with people. We are your girls.
We're your go-to for clarity.
Yeah.
For physical,
but also to know that you have a place to go. So if no one's told you, look, you're special to us. You will fit in here no matter what.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to go back because this is really cool. So I go in, I'm sitting in the lobby. There's other people in there that are about to go do this sleep study, and they're not looking at me. They're like, everyone's like, so I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm just sitting on my phone, whatever. They call us up. Everyone gets in the elevator, and they're all like, don't touch me. I'm like,
that's the most awkward
this is crazy. And I'm like, how's everyone doing tonight?
feel that especially past couple of years I don't fit in. Yes. Don't want to fit in though. Right. You're like, you're supposed to fit in, but not fit in. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's one sign that you know that you are definitely transitioning and morphing more into your true authentic soul self, which is, we are all on this path. If you're here living, breathing today, we are all on this trajectory. It's so uncomfortable and it can be scary because everything that you've always loved, everything that you've been passionate about, everything that, you know, the people, the places you would fit in, the habits you had, the patterns you had, they're all starting to die, change, morph off, people falling out your life. And you're like, what is happening? It's scary. It's the unknown. But yet I don't think I would really want it any other way.
Yeah. Like I don't want to go back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but long story short, I'm in the elevator, so I'm going up and I get the one tech, like all the techs like don't see me. This one chick sees me. I'm like, that's my sign for I know, like, okay, she's like really in my reality. Sorry, that might be a little over a lot of people's heads, but I'm like, all right. So she comes up and she's like looking me in my eyes, but then when like look down, look me in my eyes, look down. I'm like, now I'm uncomfortable, right? And so I go in there. She starts like hooking these electrodes up to me. And very sweet lady. I'm sitting down. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I actually had to wait like an hour for her to come into the room. So there's only a bed, a table, and a TV in there. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll turn the TV on. It's kind of like quiet and in here and everything. So I turn the TV on and there's something about like, and y'all might know about this, but I think it was called like the Golden Bachelor or Bachelorette or something like that.
Bachelorette, right? If it's a woman, or is it Bachelor?
Well, they were, yeah, it was a Bachelorette.
Like Golden Girls, right? So it's old people.
I guess, but it's like the Bachelorette version, but older women, like an older woman, right? And she had like a gold rose, right? And I'm like, okay. And the technician's like, oh, do you watch this? Do you like, is that what that is? It's just for older women. And I'm like, your guess is as good as mine, honey. I don't know.
Golden Bachelor.
Okay. And I'm like, I don't watch TV. So I don't know. And she's like, wait, you don't watch TV? And I'm like, no, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in years. And she's like, that is so crazy. So now off the bat, I'm marked as like some kind of alien because I'm like, I don't watch TV. And she's like, I love crime shows. And I'm like, yeah, I hear a lot of women like those crime shows, right? Like the detective stuff. She goes, how do you not watch TV? And I was like, I don't watch. Like, it's just, I'm not knocking TV at all because when we really need to ground and pull ourselves back into 3D,
that's when we turn on TV. Like a stupid movie, something funny, or like DIY shit. Like when we're like, I need to not be in this this realm anymore. Like for a little, like we're constantly in the spiritual realm.
Right.
And sometimes you just need something to ground you, make you laugh, and make you just numb out a little bit. Like zone out. You know what I mean?
So she just started to talk a lot about like, you know, the trials and tribulations of like living, working in the city, and people, the world is changing, and she doesn't have kids, and she's like, I don't know how people parent these days, and like just going on and on and on. And you know, I was just being me and my true authentic self, and I'm like, I don't really like live in fear. You know, you don't have to like live in fear, right? Like, you don't, so not pushing anything on her. I was just me and not afraid to be me. I was, you know, joking, and hell, I'm 38, and I was like, I've got to go potty, right? And she just started laughing, but I'm just goofy as hell all the time, and I'm not gonna like change that, even though I don't know this woman. And she started laughing, and, you know, we got to talking, and I was like, yeah, check all these things out there. You could do X, Y, and Z. You could do this and this and this. And she's like, wow, I never knew that. And, like, going on and on. And fast forward, get through the sleep study. She comes in this morning. She unhooks me from everything. And then she said, thank you so much. I'm just so thankful that I got to have you as a patient. You've made my night. She was like, I don't meet people like you. And she said, you just remind me, she said, you remind me that there are good people in this world. And I said, there are so many good people in this world. you know? But if you are afraid to open up and be yourself and be authentic, like unapologetically you're never going to meet your tribe. You're not going to find these people because you're just going to be the run of the mill walking like that matrix, like current
straight line. Yeah.
You know, but
and people don't feel when you close down, other people feel that even if they don't know they're feeling that, and they will close down too. So it's like the way you present yourself, that's how people are going to like, that determines the comfort level other people have around you.
Yeah.
Especially like you come in like very like just like angry at the world, whatever, like people feel that's like spikes off of your aura.
Yeah.
So like how you show up determines, I always tell my kids this too, like how you show up determines how people are going to treat you. And I always talk about that like physically, like if you come up dressed like a slob and you want a job interview, you know, like you're less likely to get it, but it's energetically too. How you show up determines what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
But underneath of that is also where we have like, okay, but every day I show up like trying to do good, right? Why am I getting shit all the time? And that's when we come into subconscious belief patterns. And that's like a whole other realm. But it's like things that we've accumulated through our life that we are actually projecting, but we don't know we are because it's something ingrained into our subconscious, things we learned in childhood. Like, it's not okay to shine my light. Every time I shine my light, somebody yells at me, I get hit, or people abandon me. And so we learn at a very young age, like what's okay and what's not. And then those things have to be healed and transformed sometimes to be able to shine our light. Like if anybody is like having trouble with that, like walking out into public and just like staying authentically you, like put a hand up, put a little thing in the comments, because so many of us struggle with this. It's like, okay, I hear it, I want to do it, let me do it. Like I'll go out tomorrow and I'll start, right? And then you like get hit with a bunch of backlash. Like, why is that? It's because underneath the surface, there's still stuff that is like running on autopilot. You have programs that were created through childhood, through your traumas and your experiences that shape the way your energy projects itself.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw something and then it went away. I don't know. Do you want to dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I'm channeling. Like spirit just, I like the archangels just like all came in and they're like, we want to talk about this and this and that. I'm like, well, hold on. But it's for an individual. So I'm trying to like shut it down.
If you guys don't know, Andrea is a spirit council medium. So when you guys pop in, a lot of your friends, your beings will pop in too. And if you are interested in connecting with them, we have, she does live readings one-on-one, and the link for that is in our bio.
All right. So I'm going to switch topic because I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to like where you were at. But one of the things that, because I'm like, is there anything they can give collectively? One of the things that a lot of people are facing right now, that's on an uprise. So maybe some of you that are in here are experiencing this, but just being more sensitive than usual, but your intuitive abilities or capabilities are off the freaking hook. So you may find yourself like thinking about things, and then they're happening. Right? Or thinking about someone and then they're calling or they're showing up, or you're seeing things on signs, or so on and so forth. And for a lot of people that aren't really, or maybe new to this realm, or you just think like, I don't have gifts and abilities, like not true. We all do. Maybe bringing you into a state of like fear or panic. I am getting a lot of like, what the fuck? Look, what is happening to me? Like people like thinking they're in like a sci-fi movie. So I'm not going to delve too much into like what those are, because again, we teach those in our classes. But what's a good way to like, hold on, sorry.
You do your thing. Kayla wants to know, can you connect with her dad? Most likely. Andrea's really good at like, if you hop on, we're not doing readings online, as of right now, or like on live. But hop in, like link in our profile and set up a reading. And she's really good with like anybody you want to connect to, as long as they have not, sometimes if they've like recently crossed over, sometimes there's like a waiting period for souls where they're still going through like life review and everything, where it's harder for her to connect. But for the most part, like anybody that you want to come through usually does come through in some way, shape, or form.
How many of you right now here, if you want to interact, like, come on, hop in this chat, interact with us.
Also, please, guys, share the live, tap the screen, throw some hearts in there, tap the screen. Thank you.
We also do have our live goal. Please help us try to reach that. Let's bust this out. Throw us 50 planets.
That was a planet.
Throw us a planet or two. But another thing they're bringing up, like,
Hi, Bailey. Thank you.
Hey. Who right now in this live is experiencing like health issues or like things that are coming up, health concerns? Now that could be like something, it doesn't have to be major. It could be something minute, but if it's like a concern to you or it's popped up and it's new, like I'm definitely getting like a lot of headaches, some sinus stuff. Anybody on like, oh, thank you. Anybody in here lack of motivation? Yeah.
Irregular periods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, Jamie, I'm assuming, I would
Daily
keep in mind, we have a super blue full moon today. That it is like it's a powerful.
Is that today?
It is.
Oh, see, this is her realm. I do not keep up with these things. I knew it was coming.
I'm still like,
and I'm like, what day is it?
In that. But there's like the energy that's coming off this is like intense. It's actually a big aspect and part of the trajectory of like major shifts that are taking place collectively. Mm-hmm. So that is gonna like make sense to you as to why that may be often a little irregular, but also too with the energies being as high as they are, that is creating shifts and changes within your physical body. So you're going to see changes in that area. Females are going to see changes within their periods. Also gastrointestinal. You're going to see changes there. You may feel full faster. You may feel like insatiably hungry, like all the time.
I want to throw in there for headaches, massage the back bottom of the head, like massage back here, because I feel like there's a lot of you are having like third eye stuff come online, and you got to like open this up back here to like let that through as we're going through this. All right, so that could be some of the headache stuff because it's getting like stuck.
Yeah.
Also
too, there's a lot of the archangels say that there's a lot of stuff going on with the throat, okay? I know a lot of people will just be quick to blame, especially like doctors. You'll even see this shit on the news, okay? They're like, oh, it's just a change of seasons. No.
I'm gonna capitalize on
you
that
have stuff draining down the back of your throat, and all of a sudden you got stuff going on with your throat. You're coughing. You're like hacking stuff up. Your throat's itching real bad, so on and so forth. That is unspoken truth. Okay, it's energy. We are all energy. This is more Lindsay's realm. If you want to hop in on that, but just be aware. Hey, when all this stuff's like going on, what is my body trying to tell me? This is Lindsay's medical medium. She's also works hand in hand, multidimensional healer with the body, and teaches.
And connects the motion, like bridge the connection between the emotional body, the energetic body, and the physical body.
Right. And teaches people how to know what their body is saying to them. But this is big. This is a big one that a lot of people are facing right now. It has to do with the throat. Right.
Especially too, if you're feeling like, because I know the past couple days I was going through like an energetic upgrade, and I was feeling like also felt like my throat kept like closing up, like I would swallow and I would like almost gag. But it was starting in the heart chakra. So you might notice this too and feel like just my chest feels weird. I feel like some pressure, but also the throat. That means that it's because it comes from the soul center, like comes from your heart chakra, and it wants to come out. So if you're feeling both, that's where that's from. Or if it's in tandem with something else, some other part of the body, it can be that's like, it's like, okay, I kept a certain part of me stagnant and it's in this area. And then opening up that throat chakra, like starting to speak, or even if you feel like you have to like physically cough, like That will help move things. Or just like you get in the car, you start singing or something like that. Like just be loud and let it out. And then let the rest follow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that journaling exercise that you like, where people say there's a journaling exercise we found on TikTok that when you can't, like when you're having trouble journaling, just scribble and then see if any words pop out, because you're getting your brain like involved in just like a tedious act, and then let the words flow. So it's the same thing. Make noises. Like kids do. Kids do this stuff all the time. They're just like random, just like, ah! Our kids make the weirdest noises. And we're like, you sound like a dying
If you
goat.
have kids, they come home, like, especially from like school, and they're like all over the place, like wanting to like devour food, everything. They're wiped out. They're wiped out, man. Think about all that energy that they're having to expel. And a lot of kids, especially those that are going through shit at home, they are releasing that at school and through their friends. So if you have children who are, gifted children or highly sensitive, most of our children are nowadays, they are starseeds, light workers, big time. Almost all the kids here today are. That's why you see a lot of highly sensitive kids. They come home. You got difficult to parent children. Know that they are definitely going to be going through it and feeling it right now. So if you've been seeing an uptick in your children acting out, it's energy. It's energy, and they need to get it out. Give them a good outlet, and it will help you tremendously. Whatever that may be. Just ask them, what is it that you need? Also, make that intuitive judgment as their parent. Like, okay, do they like playing at the park? I'm going to run their ass out at the park. Okay? Or do they need to talk or sing or dance? Do they need to hit something? Hey, let's play Nerf Wars. Let's whatever. Okay.
Also look at where it's reflecting back to you. Do you need to hit something?
Oh yeah,
something.
Because a lot of times
they'll reflect back to you.
One of the biggest misconceptions in society is that we have to teach our children. No, our children are here to teach us.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
They're here to teach us. They're here to heal us. Okay, but we'll get into that in a future life.
It's a beautiful, frustrating blessing.
Yeah. Jamie.
Odd skin rash on cheeks and jawline. Well, I can tell you cheeks and jawline are all along the stomach meridian, which in Chinese medicine is like a river pathways that run through the body. So it runs direct, like from the eyes, around the face, and along the jawline. And stomach has to do with worry versus trust. So it can be like a lot of people are releasing things right now, like, or your body is basically telling you, this is one of the things that I like specialize in is like, how is your body talking to you? The body is telling you, okay, it's time to release old feelings of worry where I should have been trusting, but I learned at a young age, or I learned through my life that the world was untrustworthy, that the world was unstable, anything could pop up at any time, and like according to the ego, I could die at any moment. And so we come in with 100% trust. Babies trust that they're going to be taken care of. They trust that when they pop out and they're like, I need food, I need love, and I need shelter or whatever. Shelter, I need like to be held. That it's going to be taken care of. It's not until life experiences hit that they learn to keep that trust or they lose that trust.
You're welcome, Jamie. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Tap the screen, guys.
I was going to ask, do you have a lot of heat like around your rash as well? And or are they like, you may find that it is more inflamed or active when you wake up in the morning. Okay. Because your body is attempting to do a lot of healing at night. So while you have this going on, hey Cassie,
hi.
Make sure, like right now, do yourself a solid. Try to go to bed at a decent time. Try to make sure you're getting some sleep. Stay away from your phone.
We're terrible.
Okay, but do your best to just try and get some extra sleep. Let yourself rest because your body is trying to like heal itself.
And release something. And especially rashes, things that come out through the skin. Remember, the skin's the biggest organ. So it's like literally detoxing.
And I know it sucks, but I would personally, I would not put ice on it. Okay? Because your body is heating up because it's trying to expel it. And it's doing that with heat. The heat's coming from the energy that's actually pushing it out. Would you have anything you want to add into that?
Yeah, so I think like this is with emotional healing and physical healing. There is like we're always taught like that for whatever we have going on, we need to counterbalance it. So I'm so glad that you said that, Jamie, because it's just a reminder of this, that of course, if you have like something
morning,
chronic,
Ray.
Good morning.
Thanks.
Oh, yay. Thanks
We're
for
so
popping
glad to have
in.
you
Yeah,
here.
thank you. If you have something like chronic that's going on, you're like, every day I'm suffering and I just can't figure out what it is, and there's some kind of antidote, whatever that needs to get you through the day, do what you got to do. But when it comes to the body showing up with symptoms, it's number one, it's trying to tell you something. Number two, it's usually trying to tell you something needs to be released. So if you counterbalance it, you're actually like hurting that process. Now, again, you don't want to suffer. We're not going to I'm not going to promote suffering. If you need more help, I'm happy. Like one-on-one sessions, we have link in our bio, and I can read into this and tell you like, okay, this is what your body's trying to tell you needs to be released. What Andrea was saying about like this time, like the moon and everything, like things are popping up because they're like, this goes with the territory. It's like, hey, it's time for me to go. And I need you to understand that we're not taught to read the body. So you don't want to always give it a counterbalance. You want to just let it do its thing as much as you can, as long as you're not suffering. I'll give you an example. A lot of people don't know how important a fever is to the body. Okay, especially like when we have kids, we like freak out. We're like, oh my God, you can't have a fever. So you like pump them full of Tylenol, you stop the fever, and you're like, they're feeling better. Yay. Like they're sleeping, whatever. In the meantime, the fever itself is a cleansing process. The fever does, first of all, it releases glutathione, which is like a powerful antioxidant that like makes significant changes in the brain and like helps you develop and grow. It's so good for you. We shut that right off with like Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever. And then second, the body can't heal and release what it wants to heal and release because we turned off its function. So, and we always say like, okay, and we go to a very natural doctor, my kids and myself, and he's like, go by the symptoms of the kid. Does your child, can they barely lift their head up and they're like struggling to like make it through the day? Okay, you can give them something because they're miserable, right? Or they can't sleep. Okay. But as much as you can, let them have that fever. And every single time my kids get sick, it's like one day and they're done.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
So good to see you.
Welcome to all the new ones in here. We're so glad to have you in here this morning.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Tap the screen, share the live, guys. So it's like we have to shift into this place of helping the body along. And that's what and we can get into this at another time, but like homeopathic medicine, herbs, things like that, they've all been around for like way longer than all this other stuff we have going on, this other medications we have going on, because they helped heal the body, but they also don't make money. We'll get into that later too. Why did I go off on this tangent? Oh, I was saying you don't want to stifle the process by trying to counterbalance. Try to do things that will help it along. And if that's you need to do a sauna type thing, sweat something out, what are some ways that you can get energy out? The physical body.
Physical movement.
Right. When you move physically,
crying,
you drain lymph.
Singing.
Just like you're saying about
physical.
The throat chakra.
Right. Free movement, dancing. There's all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
If you have multiple things going on, and again, if you have multiple things going on, you kind of want to get a good baseline and idea of what's going on, and then you can work from there. So this would be good for set up a session with Lindsay. She can help you figure all that out. If you are new to this stuff and you're like, oh, okay, I'm hypochondriac right here, okay? Right here. Big time. It took a lot for me to learn how to trust my body and to trust that my body knows what to do, okay? But so this is what I want to say. If you're new to this and you're learning all these things, do not beat yourself up. Use common sense too, okay? And if you feel don't just run buck wild with it in one direction. All right, I'm not gonna give myself Tylenol at all. I'm running 102, 103 fever. If you are feeling fearful at all, then you need to stick to your old regimen and as you learn more.
Do a little bit more.
Right?
Yeah.
Because number one, fear, you got a strong belief behind that. Okay? And your body is going to heed and react to your belief systems that you already have in place. So if you have faith in this new system and like, you're like, I'm going to do this because intuitively, I trust this and I know this to be truth. Your body does not know that yet. So give yourself grace, but just be consistent with learning and trying and approaching these new things. Go to like 101. You get there and you're like, I don't know about this. Then be easy on yourself is all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with partial epilepsy when I was 18. And there were a lot of things that because I was very much like, I'm not identifying with my diagnosis. I'm fine. This is just a fluke. It's just a freak thing, whatever. But I still had fear. So I still followed all these protocols and they got me to a certain point until it was spirit led me to go otherwise. But I took the medication because they were like, if you do have a seizure in your sleep, you could die. And so I was like, okay. And then it was like, if you, other things that were like, if you don't do this, this might happen. And so I it was, if you get a really high fever, you could have a seizure. And so I was like, had these new beliefs transforming within me as I learned, I awoke, but I had a cap on them because of my fear, but I listened to them until I felt comfortable enough and safe enough to push through those, because I was learning how to release the fear and trust my body more.
Yeah.
And now I trust my body almost to a fault, to the point where everybody, she's like, it wouldn't hurt you to maybe just make sure that you're not deficient in anything, when something arises. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, just be
balanced. But I do,
with it,
trust it. I do trust it. And, but it took me a really long time to get here, but it's also been what has created the work that I do. I absolutely I could talk to you for hours about how your emotions create your physical symptoms and how your traumas create your physical symptoms and how your body is explaining things to you every day. And we made a class about it. So it's I stepped into that because of what I went through.
Right. Yes, Kaylee, yard work. I love doing yard work. She says it gets me grounded and exercises.
And helps with your headaches too.
Yes, energy release. Let me tell you, grounding is no joke. It is one of the most healing things that you can do for your body. If you're not inclined to being someone that goes outside, I would strongly suggest you trying this out, even if it's just for a few minutes. We force our kids outside. We're like, go put your feet on the ground, 5 minutes. Go on. Because they're playing video games and everything else. We're like, look, you need to disconnect. You need to go ground, recenter your energy. For them, they're just like, what?
They always feel better afterwards, though.
They do.
They just can't admit to us.
Right. They'll come up, my head hurts, my stomach hurts. Go outside, ground yourself. You're not grounded.
Put your feet in the grass.
Go on.
Yeah, and if you are going outside and you're not getting physical feet on the earth, so either physical feet, bare feet on the earth, if you can, on specifically moist earth or grass, because they conduct electricity. Or you can also lean your back against a tree. You can also do visualization. But on a physical level, there are actual negative ions that pop up that come out of the earth and into our bodies and balance us, because we are very positively charged because we don't get outside. This is
proven
science.
It
throws off our balance, our homeostasis. If you haven't checked out the documentary
Earthing,
the Grounded, it's called The Grounded, and it talks about earthing in it. We actually have you can get beds and mats that you put on your bed that ground you while you're asleep. There's all kinds of cool things.
Look into this if you have not heard of this. Okay, this may help those that need a little bit more
We should show them our shoes. We have these. They're a couple years old.
They're
now.
called Earth Runners,
right? And they're sandals. And I love them because we're always chasing after kids, and in the summertime I need my feet open and free.
We do a lot of hiking.
Flip-flops, we're not cutting it, right? And so these stay on. They also but they ground you. They have a metal, there's a copper little thingy in the bottom, and then oh my god, inside here are metal the threads.
The threads are copper.
Yeah, so that conducts electricity. You probably don't want to step on any live wires or anything, but it conducts electricity while you're outside. So if you're getting outside and you're like, I don't want to take my shoes off, or I don't have time to, or whatever, this helps move electricity.
Yeah, and when you're out walking, just try to walk on grass or dirt instead of the concrete. it will change your life. It'll change your life, for real. I know when I get overwhelmed or I'm just like, I get real cloudy, foggy minded, and I'm like, I've lost my ability to like just function and stay present or in tune. I know that for me, that's a surefire sign that I need to go ground my energy.
We're gonna do it after we get off this live.
Yeah, we go outside. I go outside. I take some deep breaths. I like clear, like whoo, like woosah that shit, like right on out. I come back in, and within like 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm good. You know.
Yeah. I like to like pull my energy down. Like anything that I've collected, it's like into
Kaylee,
the ground. Like let it go into the ground.
That's good. I would do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cassie, definitely like, you know, just start with, don't overwhelm yourself. Keep it basic. Basic AF. Just go outside barefoot.
Yeah.
Sit out there. Go look at your phone if you need to. Right? Or read a book, or, you know, do yard work. If you need something to keep yourself busy while you're out there, do yard work. Or like Lindsay likes to go and take she'll pull out our beach chair or like a blanket and put it down on the ground and like take her laptop out there and do work out there.
Yeah.
Right?
You can do this in like parks and stuff too if you don't have, like, I know a lot of people live in like apartments, you don't have like the lawn. Usually it's like where people walk their dogs, but like who cares? Just set up a spot, bring your chair with you, set up your spot, put your feet in the grass, you know?
Yeah.
If you can, or get your feet in water. And being in the shower is very grounding too. So if you mindfully shower, like take a moment from your autopilot shower routine and just put your head in the water and let it stream down, and imagine that everything's like washing off of you and into, so the water conducts electricity, and it's filling, like going over your whole body. And then usually, now I know people have plastic pipes now, but the pipes are metal, the water goes down into the ground. It goes into the ground. So it is very grounding, but you can also use imagery to like help you with that too.
Yeah. Yes, using trees can be helpful too. You know what I like to do with trees is like, I will find a tree that I feel connected to, aka that just means like, all right, I like this tree likes me. Okay, I don't feel like not that one. You feel that? Find a different tree. But
you know what we're talking about.
I sit with my back facing the tree. Right? So my energy points, my chakras are all aligned with this tree. And then I just like imagine, you know, my energy going into the tree. I thank the tree for taking my energy, because that, you know, that's a being too. All right.
And they're so extremely wise. They know what to do with it.
So wise and evolved. And, you know, like tree huggers, that's a real thing, people. It's a real thing. Okay. Go try it. But you just align yourself with that tree. You thank it, like taking it, like, all right, you know, my butt, I'm like, the energy's coming down my butt, out my root chakra, right? Woosahing it. It just feels so good. And the more and more you do this, if you like doing this with trees, right? Sounded really bad. You like doing it with the trees.
I was like, I have a picture of you with your ass against a tree, and I'm like, I'm writing a note post picture of Andrea getting it on with it.
Look,
getting her grounding on.
This is welcome to my life.
Like this one picture, we were taking like photos in the park one day, and she's like, get a picture of me grounding, and she sticks her ass against the tree, and I'm like, girl, it looks like you're having like an intimate moment with this tree. And she's like, I'm grounding.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And I just like,
but yeah,
I encourage all of you to go and try and connect with trees, because, you know, yes, I am a medium, and we can all connect. You can connect too. Pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions after you've been sitting with this tree for a while. This tree is going to communicate with you telepathically. And it's going to do it for every single one of you. Every single one of you, that tree is going to connect with you if you're open and willing. All you have to say is, hey, you see these TikToks like, tree touch me. Right?
Have you seen those?
I know a lot of people are like, oh, you move next to the tree. You do. Go try it for yourself. You don't need to like watch and judge these TikToks and if these people are being real or not. Go try it for yourself. I'm not saying like try to get the tree to move, although it does work, but just sit down with the tree. Commune with the tree. Watch your feelings, your emotions. Think of like your thoughts, right? Don't look for something wonderful and grand or like being skeptical. Just clear your mind.
You know what I always do? Because I have a harder time like connecting with like inanimate being, not inanimate, you know what I mean? Like I have a little bit of a harder time, or have in the past. And whereas Andrea's like, oh, that tree just told me blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I will look at the tree and I'll look at like its age and I'll look at its surroundings and I'll imagine what it's seen in its life. So I'm putting myself into its shoes and I'm like when you use your imagination, you're connecting with your true authentic self. And then that connection actually, like, you will get information.
It's a visual aid.
Yeah.
Right here.
So I look around and I'm like, wow, when this tree was like really tiny, there was probably, more trees around it. There was probably like, okay, this house is really old. It was probably here. And I wonder what kind of people it saw and what kind of kids climbed in it. And I put together a picture of what this tree's life may have been. And then I will get a feeling from the tree. It'll start giving me like a feeling of like, it reminds me of the book, The Giving Tree. Do you remember that book?
No.
Oh my God. Have you not read that book? Mm-mm. Oh, I'm going to read it to you. You're going to cry. Oh my God. It's so good. Have you guys read The Giving Tree? Like, it was on Reading Rainbow, babe. I know that you watch Reading Rainbow. It's like this tree and it like, there's a little boy that comes every day to the tree to visit it and plays with it. And then the tree like gets older and things happen. I can't spoiler alert it for you. I can't.
Okay, Cassie never has.
Oh my God.
either.
All right, just look it up on like YouTube, okay?
Just find
It's a kid book, but just find it because if you need something to reconnect with your heart and give yourself a good little cry, like this will just make you feel so like, oh my God. Because this is trees. They are selfless and they love us and they're here. Like, do you ever see I've seen TikTok videos where they're talking about like the spirits that incarnate into trees that choose what was that one girl? She was like, this one chick was like pissed about like the spiritual journey. And she's like, tree me, God. I want to be a tree. I'm done with this bullshit. Tree me.
I'll come back as a tree.
But they're just like, they have like this high level spirit. There are entities. Like when you cut them down, that spirit often leaves. But yeah, check out The Giving Tree. It's just one of those books that you're just like, it'll just make you cry. I feel like it used to be in my dentist office and I used to read it every time I was there.
Oh, thank you for the rose.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't yet, tap the screen, share the live, share with your friends. Yes. I'd much rather be a tree. I understand.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hopping on.
Yes,
we're glad to have you here.
We're so appreciative of Chris. We have been friends with them for a few years now, and like we're just so happy to like be able to share in this space and just amplify the light together,
Yeah, Chris and Frankie hops on one of our Tuesday night lives where we were doing readings a few years ago, and we were just picking like random names. Like we would like scroll through and stop on a person that was there, and we landed on Chris. He was the first male that we ever read on TikTok. Yeah, it was crazy. And he was like, they're not going to pick me. They're not going to, he shared this later. He was like, I told my mama, like, come through, mama, come through. Like, and boy, did she show up. His mama is a hoot. Like, she's such a big energy and a lot of fun to relay messages from and to, do readings for. So
yeah. Oh, thank you for hopping back and forth. I know we were like, well, because we're starting to go on, we're going live all week. He's in a different time zone than us. So it overlaps a little bit, but not the whole time. We're like, we're not going to steal all your thunder. Because we want to be able to share in like the community, and if you guys are like want to hop on ours and his, but
we like it. We like his jive of like sharing his lives and like posting them. I think he posted them on YouTube. He was saying, I was like, dude, that is such a good thing to do because we do have a lot of viewers and some clients that are like, man, I'm at work or whatever. And this is a good way to like recap. So we may be following in his footsteps with that one and maybe posting our lives as well so that our followers, our viewers, and our subscribers are going to be able to like go back and see what they missed. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Cassie, we just decided that it's like too much. Like when you're on live and doing readings and you don't know everybody that's watching and like attached to this like live, we just realized it was draining our energy. too much. So we are doing more like that's like where we talked about in the beginning about like setting healthy boundaries, and we decided like, okay, let's just keep this to our one-on-ones, and because it's personal, it's like a lot of the things we want to say we can't on here because they're too intimate to share. So we did, I don't know, Cassie, if you were on earlier when we said it, but we have some new options for readings in our link tree. So hop on there and check that out. Okay?
Definitely. We now have ones that are a little bit shorter. It's more of like a general reading.
Yeah.
We have ones where we will go deeper into it, and that's a little bit longer. So like 30-minute sessions, an hour, so on and so forth. So
so if you guys just need like a little spiritual upkeep, we have the 30-minute options, and this is for healing and energy body analysis, along with mediumship and like bringing through spirit and everybody.
Yeah.
Check it out. What was the other thing?
I did want to acknowledge.
Oh, Jamie said, people like you all make me feel so good. I'm not such an odd bird after all.
No, you're not.
You're not.
You're not.
You are what would be the opposite of an odd bird? You are, because we love birds.
Birds of the
we're birds of a feather. Yeah.
We're birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Yes, and you are not. This can be one of your new homes as well. We call our people our spiritual, like our ground crew, right? Our Starseed ground crew. Because we're down here together, and there may not be a ton of us in the physical around you all the time, but you're going to find your tribe.
They'll show up in the weirdest places.
So welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the tribe, sister.
Yeah. And Maricela, however you say your name, Maricela, you're starting your spiritual journey too. We're so excited for you.
And we're so thankful that we were able to share that knowledge with you, that you came across us and you got what you needed. Like, we love that.
Jamie, you love birds too? We have 2 pet birds. We have 2 green cheek conures that are like just out of this world.
They're actually surprisingly being quiet.
I don't know why they're quiet. It's actually making me a little bit nervous. Because usually like when we're amped up, they're like really loud, but maybe they're like,
hey.
They know.
Thanks for joining.
Hi, nice to see you. I had a new guide or something. She come in a month or so ago. Wasn't sure if it was positive though. A new guide. What did it feel like? That's the question. Like,
who's this, Jessica?
Yeah. Yeah, because so maybe I shouldn't speak first because I'm like, what did it feel like? I'm a feeler. Everybody interprets energy differently.
Yeah, it all just depends on like what are your primary abilities, right? For me, it's hearing and seeing. So I'm very, very strong clairaudient, clairvoyant. So I see and hear things first off the bat. Lindsay more so feels them and
sees.
Yeah.
But a feel was primary for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have like, pay attention to that.
It seemed powerful.
Okay. And so that can be intimidating.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
So be mindful of that because
the ego sometimes will take that as this is dangerous.
Right, because one of my main like guides that I started working with a few years ago is Isis, the goddess Isis. Let me tell you, when Isis shows up,
girlfriend.
and her grand entrance, let me say, we got pulled into this town that we never would have went to. I don't even know how the hell we ended up there, but we ended up in this town and they were doing this like little festival thing, and we were checking out all these shops. You remember?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, and we walked into this one store. We thought it was a bookstore. It turns out it was a spiritualist store.
Oh, yeah.
Until you get halfway to the back of the store, and then you're like, you're in the witch's store. Like, she's a witch. And I'm like, all right, look, I don't knock witches. Like, I was Wiccan in past lives many a times. They are like you got your good and bad and everything. Good, and that's in people. This one worked with the white light, thank God. But she had a lot of like different altar things and so on and so forth. And then she had some oracle decks and everything. I get to the back of the store and I hear this, whoo, and I'm like, what
Thank you, Lila, for the gift.
Like, who's calling me? Who's calling? Because to me, I knew that was a call. And it was like, it connected with my soul. Okay. I have a lot of like, soul memory, connected to like Celtic heritage, Celtic time. It was like, I could hear like the woods calling me. Okay. That's what it felt like. And I popped into this vision of a past life that I had where I had like bands on my arms and, it wasn't tribal, but it was like, ivy. I had this like tattoo of like ivy running down my chest. I had long red hair. I'm holding onto a tree and I'm looking out and communing with the forest to find where like people. And I'm like, all right, okay. And then I hear that sound again. It almost reminds me of that, what's that Disney movie? Merida.
Merida, Brave.
Okay, Brave. Yeah, kind of like that, right? And so I start like following where I feel like I'm being led into this store, and I like get this like whoosh of like heat that comes over me, and I look down and there's this one box of Oracle cards, and it's called the Isis Oracle deck. And I just got chills all through my body, and just like
you're like, was the presentation really necessary? Was that all?
Yeah, but it was
she
intense.
Comes in through,
it was intense. It was intense.
She said I was asking for help through with health issues that I'm struggling with. So yeah, and so that makes sense that somebody you knew would pop in and be like, "Hi, you rang?
Right.
I'm ready."
So the point of that is like it may not always the similarities you're talking about in this are oddly similar. Okay, see? All right. So, hell, it could be Isis, right? Yeah, Isis is amazing. She is a badass bitch. She's badass, okay? Like, she don't play. Her energy is very strong, very powerful, very divine feminine. Balanced divine feminine can be extremely, like not invasive,
like
intimidating, right?
Because think of like a super, just like the baddest bitch who you're just like, but is all good and all
right.
hard.
So
that's a force to be reckoned with.
Right. My soul in particular is part of the divine feminine movement. Right. So bringing back the divine feminine, I do have very strong divine feminine energy. And I've worked very hard to get mine into balance, and I get that from a lot of people too, saying that I feel very like intimidating and like blunt. So
no. All you have to do is show up and give a look. It's like that same look you kind of like give to your kids, just like, well, you do the eyebrow thing. You're like,
I don't know. People just like, the kids like afraid of me. And I'm like, what is there? I don't know. Like, I just,
when she came into my life, like a bunch of people in my life were scared. we're like, I don't know what it is about her. I get weird vibes. I'm like, it's because she's fucking badass.
People aren't used to that. They're not used to that. So like, allow yourself to like ask questions, Jessica. Like, if you got to write it down, do automatic writing, tell them to pop the answer up in your head. Like, who are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
Are you part of my team? Are you an ascended master? Are you a goddess, a saint? Are you just?
So the name is escaping me, but it started with F.
Okay.
Francine.
So you could just like write it down, ask you, and then ask too, are you part of the divine feminine movement? Are you like, are you this warrioress? A lot of times we get that energy that comes with them. So don't be goddess. Okay. See? And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. See if you can figure out what goddess, type in goddess that starts with an F. And see what you are drawn to intuitively, and look that up and see what the characteristics are and what that goddess helps with, and so on and so forth.
I was going to say, I feel like she's going to show up for you. Like either like same thing, kind of what you were saying, like you walk into like a store, like a holistic store or something, like, or sometimes it's in the weirdest of places. Like it could be like a little gift shop or like a gas station, and it'll be like a logo on a pack of crackers or something. And it just, how they take like anything and make it into like a logo. But I feel like you're going to be out somewhere and you're going to see it and you're just going to know. And you're going to be like, that's who it is, her. And then go from there. But like, I mean, in the long run, it doesn't really matter like who it is. It matters like they're here to help you. So it's like, all right, I'm open. Like, what are we doing? What are you teaching me?
So, I mean, and this is for anyone, you find yourself like...
she said Freya, Goddess Freya. I've heard of her, I feel like. I just know that, there is a Goddess Freya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, like, just when you are trying to reach out, follow your gut and your intuition. But remember, there's a difference between feeling negative or bad energy, bad vibrations, versus being, like, intimidated or like, ooh, you don't feel... Because they're not always going to come in with sunshine and rainbows.
It's a vibrational match. So, like, energy wants to be around similar energy. And so you'll walk into a room, you might feel very low energy, and that's going to kind of, like, pull you. It's going to want you to go down, and your job is to maintain. But when you have higher vibrational energy, it's it's challenging you to go up. And when you, we often, the ego will associate the movement upward with death, because it's like when we die, we ascend, we leave our body. And so the ego is like, wait, like, hold on, where are you going? And we'll often like tell our brain, this is danger. So if it feels just like overpowering, overwhelming, then that usually is a sign that it is like just something higher in your body. You will assimilate it to it the more you connect and work with those energies. Who was it that asked about the animals? Jamie was asking about animals and say, do animals send us messages? Because she's been seeing hawks. Yes. And like, this is something we tell our clients all the time. It's like, spirit will find any way to communicate with you. And our favorite thing is just to like, what does this mean? Like, Google it real quick and take what resonates with you, leave the rest. But animals will pop
Jessica.
in.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Animals will pop in. Anything that's like out of the ordinary, that you're like, isn't this weird? I saw this number 3 days in a row, or I saw this animal 3 days in a row, or like just this plant keeps popping, like whatever it is. Things that like catch your eye. We always say they have like you're like, we'll say it a lot, a spirit tinge. Like it's like, I've read this a million times, but this time when I read it, this part just, I got a spirit tinge.
Usually when messages are coming through synchronicities, or is your spirit council trying to get your attention, you're going to notice that you come out of autopilot. So that's another good way to say that. Like, you're just moving through autopilot. Your thoughts are like running to, and then you're like, whoop, whoop. Like, that just, like, brings you into the present moment real quick. That's a sign, a message of synchronicity. Look into that, right? Or if you see something and you just get this feeling, it stood out to you. Those are signs, messages, synchronicities. We usually, we like to go into, you go into, Google or something, type in, always start with, spiritual message of, spiritual meaning behind.
Or symbolism of,
right? And you might get, you'll probably find that you'll get stuff that talks a lot about, dream meanings or symbols. Look into that and feel, it's the same thing. Go with what intuitively, if it fits intuitively, take it. If it doesn't, leave it,
And be careful of the negative. There are a lot of people who will take the meanings and go right to the negative. Everything is up for interpretation, and there are people out there who will tell you that they'll take the same interpretation and be like, it means somebody's plotting against you. It means something. Take that or take it or leave it. But if there's fear behind it, if you feel fear behind it, Spirit's never going to bring you a message that brings you fear. If they're going to bring it through anything, it may be use extra protection, or energetic protection, or remember to ground, remember to center yourself, remember to blah, blah, blah. They're going to tell you the things you need to do to stay protected, instead of saying someone's coming after you, you're going to, something bad's going to happen. Because there are a lot of people who out there who are not, they're preaching this stuff, but aren't fully in the light. They're very much still in the ego. And unfortunately, there are a lot of in the healing realm and in the mediumship realm. You really have to be careful who you work with. I made this mistake. In the beginning, I really wanted to, I was on a mission, because I'm a healer. I was on a mission to heal my parents. My parents both came from a lot of trauma. And so I set up a mediumship reading for all of us. And at the time, the woman I wanted to use was really expensive. So I settled for this other lady who had taught me Reiki. She did Reiki for me, and Reiki, teaching it is very strict protocol. But she's like, oh, I'm doing readings on the side too. And I'm like, perfect. I need a medium, right? Didn't see her do it, I was like, well, you did okay with Reiki, so. And so she came to my house and did this reading, and it was just all, not negative, but it was all based on physical things. She was like, oh, the pain that your parents suffered as they died. I'm like, why would you? Oh, and this person was angry with this person. So she only focused on the lower vibrational things. And it was the worst experience. I'm still so embarrassed by it. My one sister fell asleep. She was snoring during it. My dad was just closed off and was like, why did you drag me to this? My mom was just trying to make everybody happy. And I just felt terrible. So you don't want to just jump on and get information from anybody online or other without really establishing a trust and knowing that they are coming from the light.
Yeah, for sure. Crows, Jessica, I can tell you, crows are very, very evolved, high vibrational messengers from spirit. the other side. They do tend to like, you know, some of them, especially if you feel connected, that soulmate feel connected with crows, hawks, so on and so forth, they will use those. But a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you get a lot of those messages from like the archangels, your council, so on and so forth. Ascended masters will send those as well. But I've even had, and I'll just speak personally from myself, I've had crows come through to bring messages that pertain to like past lives that I've had, right? Like they used to be messengers for me. They still, so they'll come in that way, and it feels real connected. Maybe not in this life, but you're like, I don't know why, I just feel so connected. It could very, very well be from like a past life or like cell memory. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and crows are messengers. And if you're not sure about whether or not something is like say you look up crows and their symbolism and a bunch of stuff comes up, find out what a crow is actually like in its everyday life. So from our point of view, we had a fun time, what was it like over the last year, making friends with some crows in our backyard. So we learned that when you put food out for a crow, like treats, and you let them see you do it, they reciprocate to you, and they will bring you something back. They are intelligent. They can learn to talk. They can mimic. They're very intelligent. So look at what a crow does, because there's this we learned that there's this give and take aspect. There's and so when you learn that, it kind of takes that. It's like, go with that. Because whatever they are doing physically and socially is often what they symbolize in the in the physical realm. And I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
If you weren't following us before, that the crow brought us a Target gift card.
They love cashews, and I became friends with this one crow, and I named him Jasper. And so
Jinx.
Jinx. Sorry. And I named him Jinx. And I started putting out cashews out on the patio every day. And I would sing to them, and I would call them in, and I would send out energy, vibrations, hey, you're safe here. I'm just laying this out. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for what you bring and you offer, and I'll be damned if we didn't show up with a Target gift card. It had 47 cents on it, but they brought us a Target gift card.
Well, what's crazy though is 47 is a significant number for us too. Yeah. So that was because we checked it. We were no way the crow brought us a freaking Target gift. It was laying outside on the ground, and we were like, who dropped it? In our yard, who would have dropped this? Kids run through our yard, but who's running around with a Target gift card at that age?
Oh, wow.
And, yeah. So, I checked it, the balance, it had 47 cents on it. So it's a message. They're messengers. Yes.
Jessica, I have to say, I don't do readings on here, but I do want you to know that was some family, you had 2 spirits from family, and then the rest were angels, and they were letting you know that they were there, that they had received your son, and that he was being taken care of. So when you see them, know that is them coming in, letting you know that they're okay. They usually will show up.
Hi, Susie.
When you're questioning, wondering, is he here with me? Is he doing okay? You'll see them show up for sure around those times to let you know, that they're there, they're taking care of him, and so on and so forth. Hey, Susie.
Good to see you. We're doing great. How are you?
I know. It's sad. We're about to hop off here in a few minutes. We're going a little bit over our time, but we will be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
At 10 a.m.
So 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
For those of you on Monday through Friday, guys. Mm-hmm. It's like crunch time in the spiritual realm, and it is time for us to just spread our light, whatever that looks like, spread it. So we're going to be on here shining. You all want to be in our sunlight, and we want to be in yours. We want to feel, radiate it back.
So, and then also too, if you guys,
we do everything online, Cass. We do everything over Zoom. That way you can record it and keep it. We don't do anything in person anymore.
What time? 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday through Friday, we will be on here.
Yes.
And if you weren't here in the beginning when we started our live, we did announce that our podcast is being re-released. Woo! We are super excited. So our first 2 episodes will be released and go live Friday, September 8th.
Yes.
So you can check that out as well.
We do readings. Andrea does like in-depth mediumship readings. She can connect to anybody A to Z, from God to source, angels, loved ones, like sometimes beings that are still living, pets, animals, whatever.
Oh, that's what I want to do.
And I'm on there doing intuitive like body scans and energy healing. So like if you have something physical going on, you're like, I can't get rid of this, I will help you. I will do the healing work, help you remove things, but also tell you this is what's going on and this is why this is showing up. Help you read your body. So, and these are all in our bio. The link is in our bio. And we are, if you didn't hear this before, we just put on some new options. So we have, I know some of you are like, I want to do a reading with you, but I can't afford it. So we shortened some of the readings. So it's like a smaller time frame, but it's more affordable. So hop on, and it's like, it's super easy, because as soon as you book, you get sent a Zoom link, and you'll get reminders of like our date. You'll have it locked in. You'll get us one-on-one on Zoom. We can also, we also do spiritual life coaching together. So you get the two of us. That's an option. And get your questions answered, like have the back and forth so you can get that clarity and like everything, you know, like everything that you're wanting to know on a personal level. Like it's super private and it's just for you. And it's like connection with spirit. It's just us, you, and spirit.
Yeah. And I think I just want to answer, I want to say it was
Susie, I'd love to do a healing with you. I would love
that. If you're still on here, hopefully you are, had asked like what, like God's goddess or, that we associate ourselves with. I work a lot with the goddess Isis, but I would say she's probably my only one as of now. I work primarily, very much so with the sorry, God, it's like I'm like getting channeling information. Sorry, I'm like not right now.
Today,
I'm not going into a channel
not
right
today,
now.
God, we gotta pick up some kids in a few minutes.
Sorry, archangels and ascended masters hand in hand. I've worked ever since like I had a very abrupt awakening, which you would consider like a Kundalini awakening over 10 years ago. And the first person that I saw, which was kind of like a near-death experience. Sorry, this is like, I'm a woman of contrast, okay? Was Archangel Raphael. And he is one of my very, very best friends. And, you know, he's been there ever since. So I do work a lot with a vast majority of archangels and ascended masters.
And I work very closely with Jesus as an ascended master,
J-Man.
like the healer, the healer, the alchemist, Jesus, and the doctors. My team of doctors. So when I go in and I tune in with people, like I call them all in. I don't really have names for them, but it's like a team of like advanced beings who we work hand in hand. It's like a scalpel, and go in and like move energy, reconnect things, upgrade things. Like it's super fun.
Yeah. Another thing we were going to mention, or we are going to be talking more about, we haven't really talked a lot about this in the past, but it is time. The time is now, and we are sharing more and opening up more about working with other beings, star races. So mainstream media would consider them ETs. Mm-hmm. But we do work a lot with ETs.
I think we were hesitant to share that before because we're like, they're going to think we're crazy.
Well, we would, but we didn't.
I think a lot of you guys, we've mentioned it here and there. It goes hand in hand.
Metatron.
They're high vibrational beings.
Merlin is cool. I don't see him often. But Metatron, that's another one that's like profound energy when you're working with Metatron. And like where Isis is like has that love, that motherly love, but like real strong badass. Metatron is like whew, like when you're in his presence, but this deep, profound love and wise being, right? So I love Metatron.
I think I may be Arcturian.
Yeah, I would say. No, I think you
spelled it right.
I think you spelled it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Metatron. Oh, I love Metatron.
He pops up a lot for me too.
Yeah, and you know, I have a story about Metatron. He came in to session where I was really deep diving more into my counsel, because there had been some shifts and changes because certain seasons in my life had gone and I could feel new energy coming through. And when I went into a deep meditation, it was Metatron came forward, and I was like, wow, we're, like you're on my counsel now. Like I'm working with like Metatron, and he's like, beloved. Right? I was like, I have always been here. And I'm like,
sorry.
Where?
Yeah.
Where? Right? And for a long time, I never really called forth my counsel. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I just,
I know. Remember I videoed you, or we made it.
It was one of the first TikToks we made.
One of our first TikToks. It was a Marco Polo that you sent me, and you were like, is it weird that, would you believe that I never like channel my own spirit counsel?
Yeah.
She's like, I do this for everybody, like all the time. That was like so great. Like, I never even thought
messages
to ask
would
you.
come in from them, and I would just follow. Like, I never thought, hey, let me just like start like pop it in whenever. Anyways, Metatron, I was like, well, how come I've never really like seen you? Like when everyone, I do like roll calls, right? Or like when I call them forth, I call forth my counsel, they'll all step forward and I can like see who's their account and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but I haven't really seen you. And he said, well, you've never called me forth. And I'm like, wow.
Don't you love that when it's like so simple?
But it happens for a reason. Everything happens in divine timing. Because let me tell you, if he would have popped forward like 10 years prior, I would have been scared shitless. So, like, whoa, why are you here? Am I dying? Or am I dying? I'm dead, right? Like, yeah. So, it's all divine timing. So, all right. Well, I guess
we have to wrap it up, I think.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But thank you for everyone that's on and that has spent this last hour and a half with us.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. Yeah. Please share with your friends.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out our link tree, and all of our updated services and announcements and everything will be on there. And we will be back tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Love seeing yous. Yous?
Yes, girl. Are you from Philly?
Right? I am. Myra!
She's a y'all girl. She's
always
saying y'all, and I'm like, I can't y'all. I can't y'all. I can't. But yeah, you guys, you were so powerful. You were so extremely bright and strong. Shine your light.
Yes.
To remove the shit.
Remember who you
and
are.
Shine your light. Remember who you are
Ontario.
and why your soul came here. You came here to make changes, and that change starts with just being yourself. Because when you be your true authentic self, you shine and you change others and you change the world.
Tap in the middle of your chest and where your heart is. Say, remember who you are. I remember who I am. Do you know who you are?
Right.
Do you know who you are? I remember who I am. Remember who you are. Shine your light.
Remember who you are. We love you all.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow morning
at
10 a.m.
Day.
Bye.